Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that the perfect woman does not exist. I have two vaginas. Well, hello there, Evelyn Miller from Australia's Gold Coast. Haha, I believe we have a winner. But first, ladies and gentlemen, women are wearing a safety layer over their outfits in public to deter creepy men, with many labelling it sad but necessary. I found this story the other day and it really reminded me of something that happened in my real life. Two young women at the gym the other day, probably about 22 years old. And for me, who's turning 30 on the 14th of July, happy birthday to me, a 22-year-old may as well be a fucking 18-month-old baby. Very, very young. Anyway, they walk in regular clothes, they're wearing a hoodie, all that type of stuff. And then, within seconds, they're wearing fuck all. Fuck all, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking booty shorts. We're talking big fucking honky titties flying everywhere, ladies and gents. And me and every single bloke in that gym felt like the biggest creeps that have ever lived for two reasons. Number one, my cock was in my hand. And, is it really appropriate to have your entire asshole out at the gym? Like, wear whatever you want, but you gotta understand that dudes are going to stare at you. In the same vein that if a real muscly, hunky-looking bloke walked past you in the gym with grey pants on and you could see the outline of his cock, would you look? Would ya? You filthy devil. Obviously, no one should ever touch you or make you feel uncomfortable, but people are gonna look, mate. And I imagine the women in this article that are talking about deterring creepy men are probably wearing something overly revealing. And I understand that there are creepy dudes that make women feel uncomfortable, and that is horrible. But if you have your entire fucking fanny out, and in Australia fanny means vag, in America it means bum. For this, we can basically say both. If you've got your dirt box and your kangaroo's pouch around the corner, because that's what we call it in Australia apparently, if you've got both of them hanging foul out in public, you're gonna get creeped on. Sorry about it. Women are wearing safety layers over their outfits to deter creepy men. Many are labeling it sad but necessary. This whole thing comes from Ray Hersey from New York. She shared how she keeps herself safe in the city on her TikTok account. Obviously, we do need to be safe in places like New York because when I went there, the first day we went there on the subway, there was a terrorist attack. That wasn't great. But let's have a look at the safety layer that she's talking about. So she has to wear that your subway shirt. Oh, your tits are out. That's why. That's why people are looking. Your tits are out. Ladies, you don't need to wear safety layers on the train or on the subway or on public transport or in public. Just wear something that doesn't show the fucking two things that dudes care about. Boob A and boob 2. Even if you're an ass guy and you always talk about how much you love asses, if you see a titty, you're gonna look, all right? Just hide the titties and you'll be sweet, ladies. Now, obviously, if these stares come from attractive men, they're not creepy. We're only talking about homeless men that are jerking off. Anyway, long story short, fucking get over yourselves. Back to the lady with two vaginas. I've got two vaginas. One I use for porn, Jesus, and the other for my husband. What a fucking lovely lady. Why do I imagine the one used for porn looks like Hiroshima in 1945 and the other one looks like, a nice clean street with like a street sweeper going down it? I imagine that one's pretty fucked up. Evelyn Miller from Australia's Gold Coast was diagnosed with uterus diverfliffus in 2011 after years of painful sex and struggles to insert tampons. The rare condition gave the 31-year-old a double uterus. Congratulations on your double uterus. 2 sets of ovaries and 2 fannies. And they're all fully functional. Fuck yeah. Jesus. When you have your period, it must be like the fucking Titanic sinking. Everyone's trying to block up certain holes to stop the fucking flood coming through. Now, what do we do now that we have this information about old Evelyn? Number one, we give her Australian of the Year, the highest honour in Australia, obviously. And secondly, as a creep, let's have a look. How good's the internet? It seems that in the modern era, if you just Google a certain lady's name and then put naked next to it or porn, thanks to OnlyFans, and every young woman being an entrepreneur and very brave and very powerful and inspirational, you can see their So yeah, here it is. Obviously I'm not gonna show you, but I'll describe it to you. Okay, so there's 2 vaginas, 2 holes, and 3 if you include the old Vegemite highway, which of course Two. Ah, yes, the old Brown Town, the old Poo Goo Express. What a great video. This is one of the best videos I've ever made. Now, if I had to explain it to you, imagine like a train track going into a hillside, and there's two options for the train to go through. It looks exactly like this. But here's the problem with men. As soon as we hear that a lady has two vaginas, we all have the exact same thought. I know every single dude watching this had this exact same thought in their head, and I quote, "Oh, two slippery biscuits, I'm the fucking pleasure king, let me at her." When in reality, we can't even make one moist air fryer happy, let alone fucking two in the one lady. And some dudes might think, no, I keep me lady pleasured. No, you don't, mate. Your missus has got a fucking 12-inch fucking UFO in her drawer that she fucking loves a whole lot more than you. The mother of two. I wonder if each baby came out a different hole. Was anxious to open up about her condition with sexual partners, but now has learnt to embrace it. Miss Miller, who used to work as an escort, sounds like a very fine lady, now earns £12,000 a week on OnlyFans and Pornhub through videos of solo and partnered sex, including with other men. Ooh. I hope she gets to park in the disabled parking, because obviously this is a disability. She's going to turn into some Swiss cheese, she's got that many holes. Initially worried that her condition would leave her infertile, Miss Miller conceived in one of her uteruses in October 2020 and again in November 2021. She now has a son and a daughter. Beautiful. A very happy ending to a beautiful story, which, I'll be honest, the plot of it has a lot of holes in it. Like and subscribe. Miss Miller added, there was always a risk I could become pregnant with two babies at the same time. When I was pregnant with one, we still have to use condoms if we wanted to have sex in the other vagina. That's really good. That's like having two bedrooms in your house. Like if one gets too hot or filled with babies, you can go into the other one and root. How good. She set up an OnlyFans account in 2018 and started creating content with her husband, Tom. Ah yes, old any holes of gold Tom. It's massively paid off for me because people are really curious. They love the fact that I've got two vaginas. This story is just another example of female privilege. She can make a living of the fact that she's got two vaginas, all right? And that's because men are such caring people that we will give her money for her two vaginas. Good guys. I wonder what would happen if someone had two dicks. I mean, double wanking would be fun. 2 loads of dick cheese though, not great. But I will say this, 2 foreskins, it's great if your thumbs get cold. Anyway, I just wanted to end this video by saying I wanted to know your opinion on women with two vaginas. I personally think they're a bunch of Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East. Me dick stinks. Toodle. Blah, 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 blah.